Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Marissa and I am the creator behind Missouri Mix. Today I have a little tutorial for you. This is one of my newest patterns and I thought that I would show you how to take your ends. See, this is a really long scarf, and one of the things in this scarf is you change rows, or you change colors every row. And nobody wants to hide the ends on that piece, especially with as many rows as we got here. However many rows is here, it's doubled because it's on both sides. And so I thought that I would show you how to take your ends. This is what it looks like. I thought I'd show you how to get from this to this, and so that you don't have to weave in any of the ends on your scarf. And after you learn this technique, you can do it on any pattern you want. But let's go ahead and figure out how to put this over here on this one. Alright, so to get the fringe on the edge of your scarf, what you're going to need is the yarn that you used in your scarf, or whatever yarn you plan on putting on the bottom. That was from a different project. You will need a measuring tape, unless you're like me and just wing it. You could possibly need a tapestry needle, which it depends on how you join your yarn at the beginning. That'll depend, because like here, I joined my yarn by doing a slip knot on my crochet hook and doing a standing double crochet. But, let me see if I can find another spot. Okay, right here, this gray piece is put on differently because I ended up slip stitching to the chain one space of the V-stitch and then doing my double crochet. So depending on how you attach your yarn for each row will depend on if you need a stitch marker or not. But then you'll need your crochet hook that you use to make your piece. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. If you notice, I've got blue on one side and blue on the other side. So I have more rows of blue than I do gray. Not that big of a deal as long as you have the yarn to do so. What I'm going to do, push that back a little bit, and I am going to measure off a piece about around about 12 inches. So I've got my handy dandy measuring tape here. Here's my 12-inch mark. I'm going to measure off about 12 inches and cut. Oh yeah, you'll need scissors too. And what I'm going to do, and instead of using my measuring tape every time I want to take and cut a strand, what I am going to do is I am going to just take the first strand that I cut, and I'm going to lay it across and measure it by that. Now for mine, I did 3 strands per thing. Let's see. Per piece like this, there's 3 strands plus your end that you did not weave in. So it's up to you on how many pieces you want, but you will have to take into account for the yarn yardage when doing so. I am just going to cut, and I took one of my strands and I laid it to the side so that I don't have to use my measuring tape again. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my end on both sides, and I'm going to match them up and put them together. And now I've got a loop here and 6 ends on this side. I'm going to bring in my tassels or fringe, and I am going to pick this side here, and I've got my yarn, I'm going to pinch it off and just have a loop here. Let me zoom in for this. I know that it's dark, but I will try my best to show you what exactly I do. Take my handy dandy crochet hook and insert my hook into that. You can do it in the stitch, you can do it in the side of the post, whatever is most comfortable for you. And I'm going to loop my fringe on it, and I'm going to pull it through just like that. Now I am going to, I don't need a tapestry needle, I can do this without one. I'm going to take and insert my hook in back in that same spot and pull my tail through so that I have my working yarn there. And I'm going to take all the strands, including the end that I did not weave in, and I'm going to put it through that hole. And I'm going to pull it tight. Just like that. And that is, oops, I didn't mean to bump it. That is one piece done. Now let's see, I'll do one that I joined it differently here. What I'm going to do, we'll do gray next. I'm going to thread my yarn on my tapestry needle, and I'll show you how I do this one. I'm sure you could use a crochet hook to do this as well, but I prefer to use a tapestry needle. And I'm just going to weave it through these stitches like that to bring it up closer for whenever I attach my yarn. And that's all I do to bring my yarn closer. And then I will grab my gray yarn here, and I will cut me a few strands. I'll put my blue strand back for reference, line up all of my ends, put them together, and I have my loop on this side. Take my handy dandy crochet hook, and see, this one we're going to end up putting our hook through the post of the stitch. And so I'm going to insert my hook into the post of the stitch, just like that. Make sure I don't get that one. Make sure I have my loops here. Everything's lined up on both ends. And then take and pull that through, just like that. And then what I'll do is take all that yarn and pull it through, just like that. And that is how I do fringe on my scarf or on any project. This is perfect for blankets and stuff like that too, because I am one that I procrastinate a long time about hiding my ends. Sometimes I just tuck them on the inside and keep going, but with a scarf you can't really do that. So I just do fringe, that way I don't have to hide anything, and go on. But yep, that's all you do. And I'm going to do that all the way across, and when I'm done I'll have my fringe looking like this. Well, I'll take that back. I'll have my fringe done, and then what I'll do after I get all of it attached is I go back and I measure the length that I want my fringe to be, and I cut it at that length. You can do it the easy way and use a measuring, I don't know what this is called, but you use it in sewing, and use a rotary cutter and do it that way. When I cut this, I don't know how even it is, I tried my best, but when I cut this part, all I used was my gauge ruler. This is what I use to gauge my stitches and stuff for my projects, and I just lined this up straight and cut across and did it that way, and just tried to make sure I cut a straight line. Or you can just wing it. I am all for winging it. I do that a lot, but there's many ways that you can cut it and make it look the way you want it to look. I hope this video tutorial was helpful. If it was, don't forget to like and subscribe. That way you never miss another video from Missouri Makes. And I will see you another day.